Hey, what's happening? And welcome to the live stream of consciousness. I'm not used to seeing myself so big and alone on the screen there. Jesse is right now, at this very moment, we just spoke a few seconds ago. He is at a water park waiting online for a ride. So he's going to try to join us in a bit. But it looks like last week, how I left him solo, I was only able to join him for a moment because I was doing that concert, that he's leaving me solo this week. But I just want to say hello to everybody. What's up, Taylor? What's up, Angela? What's up, Ninja Kitty? Hello. Welcome. I also have to say thank you to the Rams Network. Everybody's been keeping Nancy in their prayers. She's been kind of under the weather, but the Rams Network is who hosts us on Twitch, and we love them for that. You can also see the show on YouTube, on Jesse's channel, and on our Facebook page on the live stream of consciousness, if you just search it. Unfortunately, it's not like facebook.com/the live stream of consciousness, but just search it there. Anyway, so right, Taylor, yes, last week was the Jesse show. Tonight's the Michael show. Which is kind of cool because tonight's guest is somebody who's coming from my side of the pond. We pull people from Jesse's side of the pond, and sometimes we pull people from my side of the pond. And tonight's guest is somebody who I came in contact with. I guess I can kind of just tell the story. This female musical artist kept coming up in my stream, and I was like a little bit intrigued. I was like, oh, who is this? And I started clicking on it and listening to the songs, and the music really spoke to me. Even though it was not the kind of music you would expect me to be listening to, it wasn't like rock and roll music. It was kind of like hip hop, R&B, so very soulful music. But it just really touched me in a lot of ways. And I was trying to figure out who this person was, and I reached out and I said, hey, who are you doing? I noticed we have this person in common. How do you know this person? And the person's name was Marty. And she said, oh, that's my dad. And I was like, oh, okay, interesting. And Marty is a very, very cool guy who I met at a spiritual weekend with Karen Garvey, who's somebody who I'm gonna maybe get on the show. That would be great to get Karen on the show. But she's like a motivational speaker, and Marty was in the group, and I had met Marty, and Marty was just a very interesting guy. He was doing all sorts of projects all around. Actually, I think he was bringing water to areas that didn't have water. So he was like very, very altruistic, very, very spiritual guy. And I was like, I guess his altruism and his spiritualism leaked into his daughter, who is our guest, this musician. I'm tripping all over my words, Samantha Leah, who you're going to meet in just a second. And I just was like, I don't know. I guess I don't know if you guys checked out the links. I put a couple of her links up this week on the live stream of consciousness. I'm going to play her video when she comes on. I don't see Jesse coming on, so I'm going to actually just bring on Samantha and introduce you guys. So here she comes. And there she is. Welcome, Samantha.
Hello.
How you doing? And let me just change my background to not the please stand by one. There we go. How's it going?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. I am so happy that you decided to come on the show because I know your story relates to everybody that is watching us, and hopefully people who don't know that it relates to, because I feel like your vibe is so genuine, and you have such an amazing tool that you're using to express your vibe, which is music and song. And that was something that I was thinking about today. And we'll get into this conversation about spirituality and also about being a creator, because I think there's so much connected in that whole thing. But why don't you I guess introduce yourself to our viewers and give us your the Samantha Leah version of who is Samantha Leah.
So amazing that, yeah, my father is a very spiritual person. I've actually been writing songs with him since I was very young, and he is a bass player. I don't know if you knew that.
Oh, I
Yeah.
did not know that, and I just got a little bit of a chill too because I play the bass. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I feel like he and I are very, like, I'm such a daddy's girl. Like, we're very similar in the way that we're both very much so into music.
Hmm.
And we're also very heavily devoted to spirituality and learning about, ways to ascend. And so, yeah, he wasn't always like that, but he was always an altruistic person. But as I grew up and as he grew up, his, he just inspired me a lot to go in that direction. So, yeah, I've been writing music since I was literally like 7 years old with him. Um, we would be in our old house in the basement, and he would whip out his bass and uh, a bunch of stuff that definitely is no longer available. um, like really,
Recordings? You guys made recordings?
yeah, like
Wow.
a lot of hardware that definitely you wouldn't find anymore. Um,
Right. An old cassette, like 4 track or something, right?
exactly. So we
Nice.
would write together, and I took a break for a while, and then as I grew up, I just felt really called to start writing again and really find my voice through my music.
Mhm.
And I think it's on now year 5 of me releasing music. So I feel like at this moment, I'm only just getting to where I know my sound. So that
Mhm.
just excites me to release more stuff.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, I grew up doing theater, so a lot of my stuff has a lot of theater influence in it. Um, and then of
Okay,
course,
that makes sense. Well, when you said you've been writing songs with your dad since you were a kid, that totally made sense to
yeah,
what I hear because there's no doubt that you have found your voice. I mean, if we're gonna watch your video, and I think people will see. Um, I think some of our listeners I haven't gotten a chance are welcoming you. Welcome, Samantha. Hi, Sam. You look lovely.
thank
That's
you.
from Taylor. Taylor loves your two tone.
It's natural. Right?
She says it's natural.
Yeah, the hair
Awesome.
color is natural.
I wouldn't have thought anything less. So okay, so you've been writing music since you were a kid, and you decided to write music, but you are like I'm watching you, and it seems like you are just constantly writing and shooting videos and traveling and just doing what have you manifested here?
Well, I remember when we were ringing in the new year, I wrote down, I'm calling in travel this year.
Hmm.
Um, I really wanted to move around in the last few months. So really, since October, I've been traveling, and um, it's just something that my spirit was called to do, and it seems so crazy, like in this exact moment in time, but it just has worked out the entire year, and um, it was definitely manifested through constantly really focusing on it and saying my affirmations. And I'm
Hmm.
actually in a group with a bunch of awesome women. We jump on 2 calls a week. We have our WhatsApp chat. And so I'm always held accountable. And since then, which was about a year ago since I've been doing that,
Hmm. Hmm.
I've just been very serious about like, okay, no more passive, like, oh, I want that, but like it's
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
again, being present, that is, I'm all about being present, but I'm also very much so about really focusing on what I want.
Right. Well, that's a big thing that we talk about, which is again why I thought you'd be perfect is living through intention.
Mm-hmm.
We've actually had a couple of stories. We had one of our viewers come on because she was watching the show and just felt really inspired do certain things, which led to other things, and it like just created this story. And that's really what it's about, really, isn't it? It's about creating your own story, right?
Yeah.
Like you're the director of the story. And I think, wow, you're bringing me into an interesting conversation. I mean, I think most people have been conditioned, to kind of the rat race. They talk about the rat race, you know what I mean? And I think once people realize that that's not something they need to subscribe to,
Yes.
They find all of these possibilities, these endless possibilities.
Yes.
So one of the things, I know I'm like super nervous and like I'm rushing through, but one of the things that Jesse and I like to do is, this is called the live stream of consciousness. We talk about spiritual things. We like to have our guests define what is consciousness, ask the same question to people of all different kinds of, gifts and talents, and what is consciousness. So what do you got for me?
I think that consciousness is the energy that is all things. It was here before us, is here now, will be here after us. And I believe that we are consciousness experiencing itself in different ways, because it gives like a unique flavor, a unique flair, more learning opportunities for consciousness, which is ever expanding. I think it's easier instead of defining consciousness to like explain what you feel like it does or its attributes. It's so hard to explain it itself, because it's like the unknowable. It's the unknown. It's the one unnamed. So it's difficult to,
Sure, no, but I mean, that is right in line with all of the things that we say. However, I did notice you were the first person who didn't answer what is consciousness from the I perspective. Consciousness was bigger. Consciousness was everything, and that's is what we believe, absolutely. But most people, when you're asked that question, it's consciousness is my ability to perceive and experience, being, you know what I mean? But you kind of came at it from what consciousness is. God, almost. Yeah, I mean, so that's awesome. That's great. And I see Jesse has popped on, so let's bring him on for our viewers who love him so. And Jesse Blaze,
hello,
what's happening?
I'm here in Los Angeles at Raging Waters with my family.
Where are you at Raging Waters?
We're Raging Waters.
Cool.
It's a water park. And
very cool.
I was late because reasons. Because there was a roller coaster water slide, and we had waited an hour on the line, and I still wasn't there yet. So I called Michael and I said, "Hey, can I be a little late?"
So did you get to do it?
That I had left to take my babies to the water park, and I just wanted to check in and say hi to everybody, and I love you guys, and thank you so much, Samantha, for coming on the show.
Of course, thank you. Jealous.
So what's next? Where are you guys going now?
We're just getting some Dippin' Dots on our way out of the park, and having a nice time. Hopefully they haven't closed the Dippin' Dots things down yet. But,
nice.
But that's
what
we're going to be doing. We're just wrapping up. Going to go get some dinner in a little bit and having a nice little day. My kids go home back to New York next week. So
cool. Am I going to see you while you're here?
I'm not going to be there, but I will reach out to you about what the plan is regarding other things. So I promise I will reach out.
And is Parker with you?
Parker is over in the kids section. I'm not sure if I've caught up to her yet. She's over by our seats and our bags.
I wanted to see her face and introduce her to Samantha. All good, no problem.
So I have to figure out some Dippin' Dots things over here and some snack. But I'm going to say, welcome to the live stream of consciousness. I'm sorry I couldn't. Thanks for coming on.
All right, you got everybody saying hello. Taylor talking about how you're shirtless tonight, and he's out. All right, well, it's back to you and me. That was a nice courtesy visit from Jesse. I appreciate him checking in with us.
Good timing too. I had to get I had to change position because I'm next to the window, so I was getting the sunlight. It's going down though. I'm actually in so not that far away from him.
Oh, really? Okay, I was actually going to ask you where you were. So, so you have been doing a lot of traveling. Let's talk about that for a little bit, because one of the places that you went is super intriguing. Tell us where you've been lately, and I'll tell you if you hit it.
I'm assuming you're talking about Brazil.
Yes.
Yeah. That's actually the most recent place I've been to. In October, I drove from New York to LA by myself. I think I got there in 4 days, slept in my car. It was very cold in the middle of the country.
Yeah.
That's kind of what started my whole traveling spree this year.
Okay. And what made you decide? You just decided, hey, I'm just going to get in my car and do this. Did you have something going on out there that you needed to get to, or?
I had lived in LA for a few years, and I kind of had been going back and forth.
Okay.
But I had been on the East Coast for 3 years, and actually the group that I was talking about before, my manifestation group, a lot of those women live in LA, and it kind of, to me, it was the confirmation to just hit the road. So I kind of just didn't really plan it, just typed in the address that I was going to. I got an Airbnb for a month, and then I found a place while I was there to stay. For the year, I signed a lease, even though I haven't been there at all. But yeah, I just felt called to go. Like my spirit just wanted to just go.
Okay.
I don't know where I'm going, but yeah.
You know what? And when you know that that's what's happening, that your spirit's calling you and telling you something, what the heck are you going to do other than answer? You know, I mean,
I would have been very unhappy, I think.
Yeah. No, that's great. So, okay. So, so what was the opportunity with Brazil? Is that something that was with your dad, or is that something separate?
So
what was that all about?
Brazil was actually, I met someone who leads workshops out there. He's a yogi, but he's also a chiropractor, and he's into holistic medicine, and he's actually working with tribes out there to bring chiropractic into their healthcare system. And like,
interesting.
He has a whole thing going on out there. So cool. I met him one time. He was actually my old roommate's partner. It was just a very crazy occurrence. And I met him one time, and he was like, hey, I'm bringing a group out to Brazil. You seem, just based off our conversation in the last 2 minutes, that you would be a good person to go. And I was like, oh, I'm there. And so he actually, this was back in December. He sent me the link to sign up, and I just went for it. Like, I didn't think about it. And actually, when we got there, he was like, I couldn't believe that you came, because he was just like, everyone else I kind of knew. It's a small retreat. It's not like this big, like everybody knows who he is. So I was really like one of the only people who didn't really know the people going. I just felt a resonance, and I just kind of went for it. It just seemed right. I've really been doing a thing where if something comes into my field, I just go for it. Obviously you use your mind, like, not every
right. You'd be smart about it. Right. But if you feel it, if you feel it, like you said, the word resonance, I mean, those are the things, those are the tools that we use, as we become spiritual, right?
Yes.
That whole awareness. Okay, that's awesome. So that it just seems, like I said, you like everything is manifesting exactly the way it's supposed to. Do you have plans to like put out an album? Because it seems like you just kind of releasing songs.
Yes, I'm actually at the tail end of a few singles I'm releasing within the next few months. About 4. I think I'm going to put out 4 of the songs that I have. And I'm going to Spain actually to work on an album next month. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I see you're working with I don't know what the relationships are, DistroKid and some people who I think are kind of movers and shakers and, doing stuff. I mean, I mentioned earlier, and I do want to get into this conversation about being a spiritual person and having spirituality as a pursuit, as a knowledge pursuit. You want to like learn all you can about it, but then also there's kind of got to be this balance, because if you go too crazy into, well, why are we here? And that pursuit of spirituality, I think you can get a little crazy. But I think the blessing as a creator, and this is, I am grateful for this too, because as a creator, I think that's when you are channeling that energy, and that's when you're in the flow, and that's when you're actually, you don't need to be pursuing it, because you are it. You know what I mean? You're doing it, not pursuing it.
Yes.
So
it took a long time for me to understand that, because I'm very.
A long time? How old are you?
I'm 28.
A long time. Yeah.
Well, because my father, he's been bringing me to stuff since I was like 16. So
Right.
I think I have a tendency I'm a very hard worker. So, I think that I, for a while, felt like I wasn't it's almost like I took spirituality and like made it into a class, like made it into a class in higher education, where it's like, I have to do this perfectly. And there really is like you said, if you're creative, you are literally blending with higher consciousness while you're creating. If, like you said, talking about intention, if that's your intention, then
Right. Well, I think for me, going to see people like Karen Garvey, going to spend a weekend at something like that, where there's a lot of, you're sitting down with a group of people and you're having these really deep discussions about things. And for me, I always felt that, and whether it was Karen Garvey or Anna Miranda or any of these amazing, amazing people that I know, that they weren't teaching me something necessarily, that they were saying my thoughts. They were speaking exactly what I knew to be. And I was like, wow, this is, and that's what was resonating so much. And that's what was the beauty of being there and meeting all of the people who were there, because everybody was there for a reason, and everybody who was there in that specific group was necessarily meant to interact with whoever else was there, So yeah, that's amazing. I love that shit.
I love her seminars.
Yeah. Oh, she's totally amazing. Yeah. And actually, it just hit me when I was talking about it. Like, wow, I should have Karen on this show. So I speak to her on, like Facebook and things like that. But I'm going to actually tell her and show her what I've been doing here and see if she'll come on and help us out.
We actually used to do some of her workshops at my father's meditation studio. So.
Oh, really?
So it was kind of cool, because like it was just a no-brainer. Like, obviously I'm going.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Karen Garvey's in town for sure. Holy shit. Yeah, that's great. Awesome. So let's see if we can we have Angela asking if you're on SoundCloud. We have Angela talking about kindred spirits. We have Courtney saying hello. So why don't we play your latest video, and you and I can sit and watch this and enjoy it and let our listeners hear it, and then we can talk about it. You can tell us where it came from, what it means, and all of that stuff.
Awesome.
Let me rewind it to beginning.
You wanna drive with you, fly with you, vibe with you, come alive with you, smile with you, climb to the tippy top and enjoy the view. I wanna fly, I wanna fly with you, if you're not you're not I want you to be here, want you to be with me. Want to explore the world, see everything that there is to see. And I want to do it with you. One is cool, but two is true. Ooh, I want to hold your hand while we fly to the island. Sun always shining. Ooh, I want to buy a van, find open land where the sky's really bright. And I want to hike a mountain, find some middle of nowhere town and learn all about it. Just me and you, so comfortable. Ride with you, wanna drive with you, fly with you, vibe with you, come alive with you, smile with you, climb to the tippy top and enjoy the view. I wanna fly. I wanna fly with you. If you're not you, you're not you.
Wow.
Yay.
Wow. I can't even tell you like what that feels like. Like, I mean, I've seen the video before and I just watched it again, and it's like, and like with all respect, and like, it's like I fall in love with you when I listen to that.
That's a good thing. That's what
I mean, that's it's and as just as a human, just like, oh my God, this human being is like amazing, really amazing. And so, and also as a photographer and a videographer, like you're hitting all of my toys, the 360 camera and all of these things. I'm just like, I've got so many questions. Oh my God, amazing stuff.
Yeah.
So tell us about that. Where was that shot, that amazing scenery? Where's all that taking place? And tell us how it felt and what the song is about, because I know what I think it's about.
Yeah, so that song, so like I said, I drove across the country, and I actually am in a relationship, so long distance, and I work with a producer in Spain, and he typically sends me very like skeleton, very just, like a couple of drums or whatever, very small. And I actually had to drive from LA to San Fran, so I had a while to drive, and I love writing while I drive. Awesome. So yeah, I just honestly freestyle the whole time I drive. Like, it's my favorite thing to do. I feel like driving, it really is a meditation, or it can be.
It's perfect. I love it. And so, and you're recording the stuff, I guess, as you're.
Yeah. So I'll be driving and I hit the memo to like remind me of what I'm doing. It's okay. Right. I'm safe with it. My eyes are on the,
Right.
But yeah. Or
so did you filmed a lot of all of that stuff yourself?
Oh, so that was me writing the song.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
And with that hook, how it's like an electronic-y thing, I had that idea while I was driving that I wanted it to be like you. So like I was really excited because this song honestly came out exactly how I heard it in my head, which I feel like is very rare. And that was maybe the first time that that's ever happened. So I feel like that's how I know I'm on the right path, because things are starting to manifest the way that I like feel them to be before they are physically manifested. So very exciting. But the music video was actually shot in Hawaii, on the Big Island.
One of my favorite places. Oh my God, Hawaii is. Whew, yeah, that's right. You were in Hawaii recently. I forgot about that. Yeah, that's like the literal Garden of Eden to me, Hawaii. I mean, when I was there, we did a helicopter ride, and you get to see the lava flow into the water, and they tell you how that creates landmass that looks like the moon, right? It's like
Yeah.
this barren landmass, but it's so rich in nutrients that very soon it becomes this lush jungle. It's
Yeah.
amazing. It's literally the Garden of Eden, and you feel it when you're there.
Yeah.
It's like it's amazing.
Super powerful. Like the volcanic energy is so powerful. I feel like I'm a very fiery person, but when I was next to the volcano, I was just like, oh, like I bow down to you.
Right.
I
You
need a
felt the
collar.
power. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's amazing. So did you do Kilauea when you could look down in the cracks and see a mile down into the lava?
Yeah.
Amazing stuff. Yeah. Wow. So all right, so let's get back to that song for a minute, because for me, I felt like it was about self-love. I didn't you said you were in a relationship, so I was feeling like, wow, she's talking to herself, she wants to fly with herself, she wants to vibe with herself, like and,
Well, I feel like everything I write, even if it is about somebody else,
Mhm.
it could be perceived as either about me and me or me and somebody else. Because there's some things that I've written where you would say, "Oh, for sure, I wrote that about somebody."
Right.
It's actually I wrote it about myself.
About yourself, right.
Mhm.
I was positive that I was like, wow, that's just and you know what, and that's the way I still am going to receive it, because I feel like it's very powerful. It's like for me, I talk about it all the time, about self-love, because to me that is like the biggest thing missing from the world today is and why people are so struggling so much. Like if people loved themselves more, they wouldn't struggle, period. I mean, and so that's what I think when I hear that song. I feel like it's an ode to myself. You know what I mean? It's like,
It is.
yeah, really good stuff. Awesome. So let's see, I'm just taking a look. Okay, people are talking about your beautiful voice, and Taylor said you had the Kareem Bailey Ray vibes. I don't know who that is. Hopefully that's a compliment to you.
Yeah, I know who that is, but I can't think of
You
her
can't think
songs.
of how they sound, right?
But I know that that's a good artist. So thank you.
How would you categorize your sound? Because I feel like you've kind of got your own thing happening, even though it falls in and out of some genres. I think you did something recently that I was like, wow, that's got like a reggae vibe to it.
Yeah, it's been a journey because it's hard sometimes to break into the industry when your sound is all over the place. And the thing is, I don't set out to do that. It's just I literally listen to everything, and so that has an effect in what I do, what I write about, what kind of music I flock to. So I definitely have gone through many different genres, but right now I'm focusing on like an alternative R&B style, and actually a lot of the music that I'm going to be writing in the next few months is very groovy bassline stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, so
you're gonna have your dad. Are you gonna have your dad guest on your album?
I've actually had him write a bass line to one of my songs.
Nice.
This called "Come Walk with Me," and he was
cool
on it.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I didn't mean to like lock you down to a genre at all, because I feel like when I listen to your music, and I've said this to you before, that I feel like you're very genuine, and that comes through. Like, it's very interesting with Jesse, because Jesse's the same way. Jesse will just he'll take a phrase, someone will say something, and he'll sing it back. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I can feel that in your music, that you're just thinking and it's coming out that way. You're expressing it that way.
Exactly. I'm not like sitting there like, okay, today I'm going to write this type of song. And
right.
It's been a little bit of a back and forth thing, because I definitely have had influences. People above me tell me like, okay, we need to focus on one type of sound. And then it's like, I understand that, but my spirit is also like, yeah, but
good. Listen to your spirit. To your spirit. I encourage that. Listen, hey, there are people who will give you advice who are in the music industry, and they, know what they're doing, and they can probably help. But, you know how it is. You have got a great relationship with your spirit. You're not gonna deny your spirit.
It hurts to deny it.
Yeah. And you know what? What's amazing, and I guess what I see in you, what vibes with me and you, is seeing that you're so connected to it and so able to just be like, I am me, and this is what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And I feel very close to that because I'm not. I mean, I'm a musician. I play bass. I'm a photographer. I do a lot of creative stuff, but I don't feel like I'm a personality necessarily. Like I need to do this or that.
Mm.
For me, I just need to be me and affect the people that get affected by me. You know what I mean? And I'm cool with that. And what you do is amazing because I don't feel like you're out to do anything other than that same thing. I just feel like you've got, like, okay, so for instance, Christopher Allen is a good friend of mine and has been on the show. He's a psychic medium. And I say, well, I don't talk to spirit, but I certainly resonate with what he does. And I can see how what he does touches everybody else the way that he does it. And it's the same thing with you. And I mean, with music, I think it's a little bit more obvious because music is a much more universal thing. People aren't skeptical about music like they are about psychic mediums. But yeah, so
that it just brings into my awareness like how lucky I am really, because you can fall into this mindset sometimes where it's like how do I make this work? What am I doing wrong? Like,
right.
It's
right. Well, and that's another thing I think also resonates with me is that it's like you're one of those people who I don't have any sense of ego, but I have this sense of greatness and great connection to yourself, and that's not egotistical. That's not like, well, I'm Samantha Leah. It's like you are Samantha Leah, and it's just the way, I guess, I reflect, what you're doing. So thank you for coming into my life and showing me some cool stuff. I certainly appreciate it. And I've been begging you to like get some video work or something when you're in town to do some stuff. Yeah, I do the projector stuff and some interesting things that we can definitely work with.
I cannot wait because I know I will be back on the East Coast this fall, at least for a short while.
Cool.
I look forward to it.
So you have a spirit that reminds Angela of a young Stevie Nicks.
I think I was just told that recently.
Someone
totally give me Stevie Nicks vibes. I swear to God, that was like 3 days ago.
Oh,
and I've never done that before until
you do that. There is like a bohemian hippie part to you. I think your style, like the clothes that you wear and some of the stuff like that. You could totally roll with the likes of Jelly Roll and Big SMO. Who's that? Do you know who that is? I'm so bad with like pop culture and stuff. And then Angela saying, of course, she's feeling your gratitude, which is, we always love that when other people can feel our gratitude. Yes. Awesome. Yes. So how's Marty?
He's good. He is really working on he's a hypnosis teacher. Hypnosis.
Okay.
So that is like his main thing now.
He certifies other people in hypnotherapy.
No. Like he works with people to.
He's a hypnotherapist.
Yeah, but it's like a specific type that I don't even want to talk about it because I don't know exactly how to. I don't want to like not say it right, but it's.
I gotcha. Sure. Listen, you've had what?
I've had sessions with him, so I know that it's very powerful.
So is it past life regression based stuff, or is it?
It's like
we talk about all that stuff here, so it's nothing's weird or anything to us.
Yeah, it can be that. It just so basically, his role is to connect the person that he's working with to their higher self, and then their higher self decides what it will show the person. So you can get a past life, lives on other planets. You can really, you can get yourself as like a star. Like it goes very, very. So
cool. That's awesome. So is that? I mean, I don't think he was doing that when I met him. I met him a couple of years back. He was more involved with, like I said, bringing water to places that didn't have water and very altruistic, I think people who kind of become spiritual tend to start to be in service of others, somehow, on all different levels. You know what I mean? Even like I said, Christopher Allen, the psychic medium. The other day, he had his first live reading, like at a theater, since the pandemic started, and I couldn't make it, but I had a friend go down and crew like video and do all this stuff, and my friend was saying, wow, it's just, even if you're skeptical, you can't deny how much he's helping people get through this grief and stuff like that. And that's amazing. Again, I liken that to what you're doing with your music. Somebody's depressed and they hear something that you're saying and it touches them in a way that it's amazing.
Yeah,
So
it is. Music is amazing. It really is.
yeah.
Like the universal language.
So what is next for you? You said you're going to Spain. When is that happening?
So next month, about mid-September, I'm going for a month, and I finally,
to record.
yes, I get to meet my producer. We've been working for 2 years.
Wow.
So it's very, I'm not going to say it's hard. It's just like we're a 9-hour time difference. Like, it just, there's things that get in the way. I send him vocals. He sends me back music. I have to send him new vocals. So the process takes longer. And so I'm just very excited to actually get to be with him in person. This person that literally became one of my best friends, but that I've never met. It's going to be a very beautiful experience. And I'm going to be there for a month writing them.
That's freaking awesome. I can't wait to see what you do. And I mean, for me, when I look at you, like, you're already there. I know you're like, you don't believe that, but I mean, I can't wait to see what you do, because I think the world is ready for this kind of stuff. It's not, it's beyond music. It's a creative energy, that just includes a lot of stuff, So
yeah, I feel like the world is ready too, to just like get artists that really represent a higher frequency. And it's been a journey the last few years, because I don't think that the world was ready a few years ago, and a part of me knew that, and it kind of tried to fit into what made sense then. And it just
right. Yeah, when I saw your earlier stuff, I was like, oh, this is interesting. This is a little different than what I thought. And listen, obviously we all evolve and change. And so I was like, oh, this is the earlier stuff. I remember that. Actually, and that reminds me, I don't know what you're doing with it, but in kind of following what you were doing and checking out where you were at, I saw that you had been doing a podcast for a little while. That was spirituality based. Are you still doing that, or where can people find that? Give me an address. I'll put that up on the screen so people can check it out if you want.
Yeah, that podcast I started, it was called Thinking Out Loud. I started it last year, and the videos are still on YouTube. I'm not fully sure if the podcast is still on all streaming platforms, but it's definitely on YouTube, on my channel. I stopped doing it because I actually am about to collaborate with one of my really good friends. She's like a mindset coach, and she became really like one of my sisters. And so instead of doing a second season of that podcast, her and I are collaborating on our own. And I'm actually really excited about that, because it did feel a little bit like I want to bounce ideas off of somebody and have a conversation like this, instead of me and me, it just
right
better. So yeah.
Cool. So is your website SamanthaLeahMusic.com?
Yes,
it is. All right, so let me just put that up here on the screen so people can see that. Boom. Why isn't that showing? Save show. There we go. SamanthaLeahMusic.com. I got to make sure I'm doing that on the fly. I got to make sure I typed it out correctly. Cool. So yeah, if anyone's interested in checking out more of your music and seeing some of the things that you're going to be doing, and are there any links to your podcast there, or they should just search that on YouTube?
Yes, and there's cool stuff. I have like cool alien shirts and
Ah,
I have really cool merchandise.
cool
Like
merchandise. Okay.
here. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't prepare myself. I would have put that stuff up on the screen so we could try to sell it.
Oh, it's okay.
Well, you are amazing. I'm really glad that I just kind of like felt the urge to reach out to you and connect. And I do really look forward to when we can collaborate, because for me, as a visual creator, when I'm working with somebody who I believe in as far as whatever the content is, the audio content, and your music totally vibes with me, it's going to be amazing. So
Yes. I've talked to a lot of videographers who are just like, working with somebody whose music is actually inspiring me makes me want to create a better project. So that's really nice to hear, because like, I feel like sometimes people will have to take a job because they want to get paid, or they just, for whatever reason, they take a job that they're not really fully resonant with.
Right.
I think that would be an awesome collaboration.
That you know what, that just brings me to a great kind of thing that we could talk about to kind of round this out. I think we have about 10-15 minutes left, but kind of what I was talking about earlier, like, there's a lot of crazy shit going on right now in the world. It's a very, very interesting time for everybody.
Yes.
But as much as there's all of this sensational stuff going on, I think that there's also this stuff going on, especially within the creative community, where people are, first of all, finding out that they're creative. That people that never knew that they were creative are finding out that they're creative, and starting to do things that are so unique that it inspires me. People aren't just like painting and drawing now. They're like doing stuff with paint. They're pouring it all over shit. And, they're like, people are taking, I have a guy who does bug taxidermy. So he works with these organic bug farms that are, the bugs are, he makes sure that they live a natural life. He's not like having bugs that are raised for art purposes. So he gets these bugs and then he articulates them into these art frames, and he does these amazing designs.
That would be so cool to have in a video.
It's so inspiring. Well, he did a collaboration with this tattoo artist Popo, who is local, and he does a lot of crazy illustrations. So Popo draws these things with these butterflies, and he actually put the 3D butterflies on the drawing, and they put it in this big shadow box. It's just so amazing. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. So people are tapping into their own creative energy, and then getting excited about other people's creative energy and supporting them, not like, oh shoot, I got to watch out because you're also creative. They're supporting the hell out of each other and collaborating left and right. And I truly think that the creative is going to stand tall in the end of this. I mean, it's those will be the people that will be leading, and that people will be looking to for inspiration and light.
Yes, I 100% agree. And I feel like over the last year and a half, even when things were really rough, I had my microphone, I have my notepad, I have my instrumentals I'm listening to in my headphones. And I really feel like, I know that life stopped for a lot of people, but me writing and me like creating ideas, whether I was able to make them come to life or not, it continued throughout. It never stopped. And so things like that video in Hawaii, I feel that's a manifestation of a year ago when I was in my room, unable to leave, me writing down my ideas for what I want in the future, like what I want to create, where I want to create it, what I want to write about, what type of song I want to make, what genre I want to hit. So I agree. I feel like creatives are really stepping into their power. Yeah.
Awesome. That's wonderful. Phenomenal. All right. Well, I don't really know what else to talk to you about. Why don't you got any questions for me?
Yeah. So are you a native New Yorker?
I am. I have been in New York my whole life, and actually the rest of my family moved away. So my mom lives in Arizona,
What?
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm here. That's crazy.
Yeah. My mom is she's in Scottsdale.
Wow.
And they moved to Fountain Hills when they first moved out there, which is like much more remote. And then one day she like found a scorpion in her shoe or something, and she's like, all right, we're out of here.
Yeah.
So they moved to a little bit
Desert
more
life.
populated place. But yeah, my folks are in Scottsdale. My sister lives in Sacramento, and my brother's in Chicago, and I'm the only one left here on the East Coast. But I am dying to. I honestly feel like I will end up back in Hawaii.
I was gonna say, when we were talking about it, as soon as I got there, I was like, "Oh, I need to live here."
Yeah, that's definitely a place that speaks to me, and I actually know a few people who live there now, so I kind of have maybe some reasons to get over there and some resources over there. When I was younger, I did a lot of traveling. I haven't traveled that much, but tropical islands were always. I mean, I've been to Aruba a few times. Aruba was always amazing, So yeah, I think that's what's calling me. But
yes. Do you know what island you kind of gravitate toward?
No, I don't. I would really need to. I mean, I was on Maui for a little while, and then what island is Kilauea on? That's on the Big Island? Yeah, so we were on that island as well. Maybe. I mean, like you said, the volcanic the energy there was just off the charts. It was just amazing to be there. And you know what? It's like that in Arizona too. Sedona.
I know. I'm like, should I live here? Because I technically live in LA. I have a friend staying in my house, but I go back and forth about that because I'm not really sure if that's where I want to be. So I'm actually going to Sedona for the first time in 2 days.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Enjoy it. Yeah, there's definitely some nice vortexes there you'll feel, and that's awesome. I feel like wherever you go, you just like you soak it all in, and you just like.
I do. I love everywhere I go. My dad actually makes fun of me because everywhere I go, I say I want to move here because every single place I go, I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. It's so different. And so every time I go somewhere new, he's like, wait, let me guess, you're moving there.
Yeah.
I'm always like,
you know why? Because you love yourself and you love life, and what else are you going to do? What are you going to do? Like not like a place that you go? You're going to love it, of course.
Yeah, it's very, very rare.
That's such an testament to the whole theory, right?
Well, it's really a testament to like our perception is everything. So if you try to move somewhere to make your life better, I mean, you're also bringing your mind with you. So you're not really, you can't run away from yourself. So
there you go.
I agree. A new environment is really, it's inspiring. And of course, it's beautiful to meet new people, see a new place, but you're also bringing yourself with you. So,
and in that mindset, you're just experiencing it on a whole different level, I'm imagining.
Yeah, just everything is exciting. I mean, I'm not like perfect. I have my ups and downs, but
sure, of course.
Yeah, every time I go somewhere, I really do. Like you can ask my dad every single time I go.
No, listen, whether you know it or not, I live vicariously through you, so it's all good. I mean,
my dad's a New Yorker too.
Yeah. Oh, and you know what? I love my life. It's not like I'm like shit. I need to live vicariously through someone. It's a good thing. It's like wow. Yeah. I love what she's doing. I live vicariously through a few people. So
totally. I feel the same way with other people too.
Yeah, it's like I'm so happy.
Like you said, it's kind of that supportive nature rather than like why does she get to do?
No.
And I feel creatives are being more supportive and.
Right.
I feel going back to the group I'm in where I have like my manifestation girl gang. It's shown me that women, because women can get catty with each other, women can get competitive. I've never had any experience like this before where I can see how like the new earth is really being created now.
Totally. And I am completely connected with the Divine Feminine. As a matter of fact, once we got all the guests together this month, I'm calling it the Divine Feminine month because we've got an amazing bunch of women. And yeah, I mean, so much stuff I could talk to you about, Samantha. We should definitely talk again soon.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how happy I am that you came on my show. I'm sorry Jesse wasn't here because you would love him. He's got such an amazing energy.
Yeah. It was meant to be, though. It was
yeah. Oh, absolutely. You know, we had to feel each other out a little bit, right?
exactly. Now we know like what our vibes are. We know that they're matched. We know we can create together, collaborate.
Totally. Yes. And I'm very excited. So I don't know. Let me just take a quick look. If anybody's, you'd love New Orleans. I don't know who.
I got confirmation again. Yeah.
Yeah. Confirmation.
I have been saying for the last, I'd say month, that's where I want to go next to visit. So
right. Well, you know what? I think that's the Stevie. Oh my God.
Stevie Nicks?
Stevie Nicks. That's the Stevie Nicks bohemian vibe that everybody that people see you and you have that naturally. You're it, right? And I think people relate to that and it's like you've just got to do that. You've got to go experience things. So Taylor says this episode has made me feel like Jesse usually runs his mouth on these shows.
I'm gonna watch other episodes so I could know the comparison.
Listen, we all love Jesse to death. He's amazing. He loves to talk. It's absolutely true, but we love to listen to him. So it works out. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So anyway, so before you leave to Spain, are you on the East Coast at all, or do I have to wait until later to see you?
I am thinking about actually staying there for a week to see my dad.
Okay.
Because I'm getting the ticket from New Jersey or Newark, the Newark airport, because it's a shorter ride to Spain. Okay. So I figured I'll take that break and probably stay with my dad for a few days.
And he's in New Jersey?
Yeah, Central. Okay. But I drive everywhere.
No, but I'm thinking maybe I would love to see your dad. You know, maybe I'll come see the both of you. You know, I mean, he still has a wellness place, right?
Yep,
there?
Right there.
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, let's collaborate a little bit and talk about that. And maybe
that'd be amazing.
Make something happen. Yeah, that would really be amazing. And again, I gotta talk to Karen. And get her on this show, and oh my God, then I would really be stumbling over my words. Like, oh my God,
what do I say?
But anyway, all right. So it's time to sign off. Again, thank you so much. I'm gonna play the intro out. Actually, you know what? I had this new intro I was gonna play, which uses Jesse's song, but the volume was really low. I'll play us out with that. Hang on, don't go away. And I will see you in a minute, all right?
Perfect. Thank you.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you for coming to the live stream of consciousness. Thank you to Samantha Leah, and we will see you next week. Our guest is Alicia Munian, who is, I think she does hypnotism as well, but she's also just like a spiritual leader, somebody who just has a lot to express and, enlighten people with. So we will talk to her next week, and I will see you guys later.